never been so petrified in my entire life.
Some people say they felt getting strangled. Something was trying to grab them.
It was as though one finger was tracing a pattern on the back of my head, and I thought, what is that? Turned round to see if anyone was there. No one was standing anywhere near me.
Who or what is behind these frightening encounters with the supernatural? The answers lie in the heart of Edinburgh, Scotland, in a graveyard known as Greyfriars. First, Greyfriars was a garden, then a monastery, until the Black Plague and other diseases swept through Europe, taking millions of lives.
Edinburgh had become so overcrowded that there wasn't any room left in the graveyard that they used down at St Giles, and so this was turned into a cemetery. And it's been that way ever since.
For hundreds of years, the grounds were a place of solitude and quiet reflection. But in late 1998, a destitute man broke into a large family tomb and unleashed a powerful force.
He fell through a hole in that floor and into another section underneath, and this section was filled with bodies. Arms and legs and heads, and he landed right in the middle of them.
One of those bodies was that of Bloody George Mckenzie, who had become notorious in the 17th century for his persecution of a group of religious zealots.
The Covenanters were a religious group in Scotland, Presbyterians, who rose up against the King of Britain, Charles I. Charles I was trying to impose Episcopalianism or English-style worship on Scotland, and the Covenanters weren't having it. And roughly 18,000 Covenanters were eventually executed in the name of their religion.
2 weeks after Mackenzie's tomb was disturbed, bizarre incidents began to occur. Many believed the spirit of Bloody George Mckenzie had been released, and he had drifted through the gates into Covenanters' prison and graveyard, where his victims were buried.
There's been numerous things happening to visitors to the graveyard since that event took place. The most common are people complaining of cuts and scratches. They will go into the Covenanters' prison and come out again, apparently unharmed, but the next day they'll wake up with cuts or bruises, black eyes.
If you go right up to the back wall as far as you can, just mind your step on the way in here.
The most dramatic event was when one woman, she was standing over to the side, and I saw her nodding a little bit. And then she just kind of went, and she leapt up and screamed and fell down into the middle of the tomb.
So far in 2 years, there have been 30 people who claim to have been knocked unconscious in the same section of the graveyard.
What does the spirit of Bloody George Mckenzie want? Does he want even more vengeance on the religious rebels buried here? Or is he simply reminding visitors of the terrible power he once wielded? Jan Rees may have felt that power.
I felt as though my face had become completely numb. Just my face, and just this part here. The rest of my body was normal body temperature. It was as though I'd lost all the sensation, as if I'd been to the dentist and had been anaesthetized. And I could actually tap my face without feeling it, without feeling my fingers. This cold sensation must have lasted for about 20 minutes before it faded.
Sarah Wilson used to believe that ghosts, spirits, and poltergeists were nonsense, until she had a personal brush with the Mackenzie Poltergeist.
It was like something had actually just shot out of the gate past us. It was like something was escaping while we were trying to get in there.
When the number of people reporting actual attacks kept climbing, a local minister was called in to perform an exorcism. But it was unsuccessful, and to date, 70 attacks have been witnessed by more than 100 people. Despite the danger, tourists keep visiting Greyfriars Cemetery, although many vow never to return.
When you actually experience something that petrifying, it does make you think twice.
I certainly won't be going looking for and doing any more ghost hunting. It's made me very wary, and I'm certainly no longer sceptical.
People simply do not believe that they're going to encounter a supernatural entity on a ghost tour in a civilized country in the capital of that nation until they do, and then they're astonished.
Thinking of checking out Greyfriars for yourself? Then you might want to keep this in mind. The authors of Dracula, Frankenstein, and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde all claim Greyfriars helped inspire their haunting works. Now, do you still want to go?
Next, doctors say